Hello. Is this thing on? Is anybody watching this?
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, it's on.
Hey, you guys. Hey, everybody. It's Johnny Bain. Welcome.
Hello?
There we go.
Yeah, it's on.
See, that's what I was talking about.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. I don't know. We gotta find that quick. See, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, Ty, is that you? Do you have the other screen on? Who has it?
We gotta find that quick. See that? There we go. Okay. It's Mike. Hey, you guys, it's Johnny Bain. We're live. 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh wow. Jeff Hausman just mentioned me on Facebook. Awesome.
Nice.
We love you, Jeff. Van Halen News Desk, you guys. February 8th, 2020. Here we are. We got Ty Price. Hey, man.
Hey, Johnny Bain.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Great. Welcome. Welcome here.
I'm good. Thanks.
Oh, it's still going. David Nesdall.
Hi. How's everyone doing tonight? How's everyone's Saturday night? Or Saturday evening?
Straturday.
Yeah, it is.
It's Straturday.
It is. Swirl the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, who's that in the corner? So I'm really excited to introduce our next guest, our main guest, Mike Himmel. So if those of you that don't know Mike, he's an artist for Boss and Roland, FU-Tone Hardware, among others. He's both a session player and a live performer. He's traveled the world playing for various artists such as Slaughter and Mark Slaughter and Brett Michaels. He's featured in Guitar Player Magazine and Guardians of the Guitar, which you got to read that article in Guardians of Guitar. It's very cool. You may have seen him with. You may have seen or heard Mike play with several different artists, including Doug Pinnick from King's X, Miles McPherson, Victor Borden, Sean McNabb, Juan Crouchet from Rat, Michael Johns from American Idol. In addition to being a guitar virtuoso, Mike is also a producer and a cinematographer. So welcome to the show, Mike. Guitar virtuoso.
How you doing, man? Actually, we gotta fix this. Mike, you have close your browsers on your computer.
We don't hear you.
Yeah, the audio from the show is coming through. Close your browsers on your computer.
This just sounded like
we don't hear you.
This just sounded
the
like
audio from the show is coming through. You're probably hearing a bunch of echoes.
Oh,
okay. Well, Ty, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. I'm going to stand in for Mike now.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to play anything just like Mike, I'll be okay.
Oh, man.
So Ty is also he's a good friend of mine and an amazing guitar player, and he tours the country as well.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, I'm just calling it how I see it, and he's very knowledgeable. Anyone have any questions for Ty as well? You're more than welcome to ask questions about Ty and what he does.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I love watching your show.
Oh, thank you very much. And there's Mike.
Mike.
Well, can you hear me now, as they say on the Sprint commercial?
Yes, we can hear you.
Well, I decided after that illustrious intro, I was just done.
See ya. No.
It's time to get high and drink and say "Fuck you, Billy Blades." And while I do it, sorry about that.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
So, hey guys, thank you so much for having me on the program. I'm honored, and I know it's been a long time coming. David's been after me for some time to do the show, and I don't typically care to do these type of shows because I just really don't think I'm that fascinating or have much to say. in general as a person. However, I do love gear, and I know these guys are all about it. And so I thought I would give it a go and just come on and talk about some cool gear and answer some questions and maybe help some of the players that haven't had much success at getting endorsements or doing some other cool stuff, and kind of give them some tips and tricks and just try to help them out a little bit. But I'm here mostly because you guys are really cool, and I thought it would be worthwhile to give it a go. So thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, it's great to meet you, man.
So Johnny, you want to do a little roll call first?
Sure. Let's see who's in here. We got
I gotta catch the train. I'll be right back.
Rowan Brewster Lane is here. We got Joe Hervey 84, Papa Blue, Sean Silas, our good friend. Yeah, your train's running, man.
Yeah, I know. That train, it comes every half hour, so it's right down the road here.
Okay. All right. We got Daniel Halen also in the house.
Oh, I know.
You know him, right?
Oh, man. Daniel Halen. Of course, I know him. I made him a guitar a long time ago, and you better not tell him how long ago, Daniel. And so, no, he's a great guy. He's a California guy. Rowan Brewer Lane, such a dear friend of mine. I dated that lovely doll many, many years ago. She went on to be in the Miss America pageant. She's a wonderful human being, and she's super cool. She's had a lot of success for in the modeling industry and all that stuff. But most importantly, she's a stand-up guy. I see Sammy saying, Holmes, why you hate on Billy Blade? Because you're Billy Blades and you're a dick. That's why. But
oh my goodness.
It'll be fun to poke on you. But yeah, I've known Danny for quite some time. And I see a lot of these names in here, and these are all really good people that have followed me for a long, long time. I mean, I poke fun at some of the clowns that say stupid stuff, but for the most part, a lot of these people, they're very, very kind and they're very caring, and they actually are interested in me. Goodness knows why. And I'm just hoping it's because of the music, and I love to play and chat with these guys. But Dan is a good guy. He probably still has that guitar built in back in forever ago.
Cool. So listen, I got to say hello to someone special. My father's in the chat. Hello, Richard Nesdahl.
Mr. Nesdahl, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Pop.
Yeah, Daniel Halen sent me a tweet the other day saying to say hi.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's out in California. I should have seen him the last time I was out there. But, man, when I go out there, I've been out there so many times in the past in the past 5 months. I mean, doing my videos, and I came back, and then I had to go right back out, and I did the NAMM show, and I did some stuff for, of course, I stopped by Boston Roll and all the other people that I love and I've worked with, and then I stopped by Softtube, which is a great new company. They make a lot of great plugins. They've made a new Marshall plugin for Kerry King from Slayer, and they asked me to put together some presets for his new Marshall, and I came up with some pretty cool stuff. So they're really good. But I've been back and forth so much. There's so many people out there that I want to hang out with, man. But usually it's just hit it and quit it and in and out.
Yeah, I was looking at your Instagram, and I saw your post where you talked about the NAMM performances and stuff. And it's too bad we didn't meet up, man. Because I was there too.
Yeah, I was more selective this year because when you do something for Boss, which is amazing, I have to remember to do these shout outs to these people. They kind of they've hired you to do this thing, and they're 360 on the trip. They pay for you to get there and get out there. And I mean, you're working, man. You're working the whole day. And part of that whole thing that you do is kind of a media scrum. And all the Guitar Player magazine comes through, Premier Guitar, Guitar World, Sound on Sound. They all come through. And if you're demoing a pedal or you're doing whatever, you can't leave your post, man. And you've got to be on every single time. And nobody's on all freaking day, 8 or 9 hours. And then you eventually, you sometimes you're on, sometimes you're not. And then people will go back and they'll look at the videos and they'll go, well, you just played the same thing. Well, what they don't understand is that that's what you're getting paid to do. You actually go through these litany of licks, and they pick and choose. They say, we want you to play this, we want you to play that, we want you to play this, and we want you to play that. So when you see all the videos and the people are going, well, dude, he's playing the same thing all over. Again, he doesn't, he has no versatility. They're clueless to that. But so with Boss, Yoshi gave me a great opportunity to do that. And it's just been tremendous. And Yoshi Kagami is such a great guy, man. I mean, I've got to travel, play all the national, international guitar shows, been halfway around the world. I was the guy that did the kickoff campaign, flagship campaign for the Waza amp. They flew me over to Tokyo. I got to do the main video. Then I came back, and then I traveled all over the place and did the guitar centers. So nothing but love for my Boss family. However, this is really the first time in a while that I haven't gone and sort of had to be owned by a booth. Travelcaster was like that too. They were really cool too. They make the little guitars, the traveler guitars.
Yeah, very cool.
They're killer too, man. They have like a little one that's almost like a gem guitar, like my guitar. But they were really cool too. So, but typically, you really, really have to stick around. And then people want, I hate to say this autograph crap because I hate getting into that. But people want to talk with you and they want to do that, which I'm fine with. But I took this time to be more freelance and going around and seeing everybody. And that was a lot more fun than I think just being nailed down to a booth, because I wanted to see everything just like everybody else does when they go. So it was a good opportunity to do that this time.
It's very cool.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. Speaking about those traveler guitars, Dave, I ran into Larry Mitchell at the travel guitar booth.
Very cool.
2 years ago
with
Michael Smith, and then of course this year F.U. Tone is doing some stuff with them, right?
There's a particular one that I'm waiting to come out so I can get it. It's going to be really cool. And I played one. I was recently in rehab for my foot. And Adam came to visit me, and he brought a really nice little traveler guitar. And I was like, I can't wait to buy it, because it really feels like a top of the line, real good guitar. I mean, and it sounds amazing. The neck feels like one of these Ibanez. It really feels great. It really feels like a real guitar. It doesn't feel like a chintzy thing. And I can't wait for them to start coming out so I can purchase one.
Yeah, I would say hey to Sean Sean as well, man. He's a really good dude. He does great work with guitars too. I didn't get a chance to see him either. And man, there's so many great people when you're out there. You get to meet with you get to see the cool thing about going out to NAMM for me is that everybody's kind of doing their own thing all over the world and playing in the summer, and I do the videos and I do this and that and the other thing. But that's kind of the time where, you'll run into, I ran into George Lynch and then Dave Friedman, and then just the list goes on and on and on, not to name drop. But that was the cooler part about it, that's kind of the time where all the guys who are out there doing it, they get to come through and see each other and sort of hang out for a minute. Whereas that really doesn't happen at any other time, unless there's some grand event where, unfortunately maybe somebody passes away or somebody's wedding. But that's one of the best things about NAMM, I think, just being able to see a lot of the folks that you don't get to see during the year.
Or the people that you meet online, the friends that you make, and then you get to see them in person and hang out. And
yeah, that's super cool. I mean, I had that's really the surprise of this whole thing. It's just going back to Yoshi. There was a guy named Phil Gates. And I don't want to get past your questions, David, but we talked about endorsements. And if you want me to, I can kind of circle back around to that for a second, unless you want to move on to a second.
No, we can circle back around. But I just want, since we mentioned Sean Salas, I just want to mention that, see this Wolfgang right here? Sean built that guitar. That one right there.
There's no doubt about it. That guy's master.
2009 USA Wolfgang, and it's incredible, and it's just Sean's hands.
That guy does work, man. I've never seen anything bad come out of those pictures or anything that I've heard from people he's done work with that's come out.
Yeah.
He built mine too.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk. First of all, before we go to endorsements, I have one question I want to ask you.
Sure.
Let me just get my phone open again. So I just want to know, how did you find your voice on guitar first? That's first and foremost. How did you find your voice? Because that's going to lead you into how did you get your endorsements, and talk about endorsements a little bit.
How I found my voice in guitar is I almost lost my voice. A very good friend. I used to when I was a kid, just like all of us had. We all had motocross bikes, right?
Yeah.
And so one evening, the guy that actually taught me my first guitar, like Michael Collier, and I were riding our motorbikes on the trail, and I had a Honda 150 or something like that, and somebody was on the back, and we were riding, and some idiot decided that he didn't like kids riding out down near the power lines where he lived. So he put a wire up across the trail, like literally, he must have measured it right at the bottom. So I hit that thing, wound up in the hospital for about a week. They had a trach kit there and everything. Thank goodness I didn't have to have it. So that was probably the last accident that I had with that. But what happened right before that, speaking of voice, that's why I changed my voice to guitar. Right before that, the same episode of Insanity with Mike Collier, we were riding on another trail, and some guy was up in the woods and shot me in the leg with with his rifle, and I still have the bullet in my leg. So every time I go through TSA, beep beep beep, still there.
Oh my goodness!
So what happened was, I thought this is how 14-year-olds think. How can I do something really, really exciting that girls will like, and I can still do, and I'm not going to get hurt? This is the stupid thinking of a 14-year-old, right? So I went over to Mike's house one day, and he had all kind of instruments. Great bass player, great multi instruments. So we sat down. And he goes, "Hey man, check this out." So he started playing this, and he said, "Play it with one finger." It's probably exactly how it sounded. And dude, when I played that, my world changed. It just was like, and I took it and I went home, and I must have played that same stupid freaking riff for 2 weeks straight until it was perfect on one note. But we all know that it's not one note. So at that point, I realized that this motocross career wasn't going to work out for me. I was probably going to wind up, it's just bad luck where I started playing guitar, and then I started listening to the masters right away, because I thought, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to be amazing at it. So I listened to everybody that we all listen to here in the room. I listened to Hendrix. I listened to Jeff Beck. I listened to Jimmy Page. I listened to Billy Gibbons. I love the guitar players in the Doobie Brothers, Tom Johnston, Pat Simmons. The greatest decade of rock and roll A to Z was arguably the 70s. Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, Judas Priest, Van Halen, Kansas, Doobie Brothers, you name it. Super groups, more super groups in one decade than there's ever been. So I kind of was an amalgam of all those guys, and I just wanted to play great. And I realized that the common denominator between all these guitar players seemed to be one thing: whether they played fast or whether they played slow, they all had great vibrato.
That's the key right there. That is the key.
Vibrato. And then, of course, they know, how to get great tone. There's that clown Billy Blades doing the Mick Shrimpton. Look at this idiot. Dude, can you just get a life? Oh my God. What does he do? Sit around? I think he's sitting around in his underwear and a white beater with spaghetti stains on it, saying stupid stuff. Come on, man.
None of us are wearing pants either.
Well, I got my rock and roll boots on. Look at that, man.
I'm wearing pants, but no underwear. But I won't show my crotch again like I did last night.
Clown just can't. He can't get over it. He just can't get over it, man. So how I found my voice was I realized that one of the common denominators, Jeff Beck, everybody, they had great vibrato. So I would really, really focus on that because I knew no matter how fast I played, whether I could play slow or fast, that was a signature thing. So when I took that, I kept working with it, and then getting all the solid sounds of the 70s. And then I heard this song called "You Really Got Me," and my life changed. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how he got that tone, but everything was so bright and happy and exciting. It was like boiling oil, sparks, lightning, firecrackers, chicks in bikinis, motorcycle, everything about California and fun and just happiness with great sound that I had ever heard in my life. And so at that point, I realized if I'm even going to bother to do this, if I'm going to swing for the fence, I'm going to try to get a grand slam. I'm going to try to get that level of acuity with my playing. Have I achieved that? I don't have the answer to that question. I never set out to be him, but I thought to myself, if I could get my level, my skill set to that level, that would be great for me. I would love that. I would really love to do that. And so I'm finding my voice was a collection of people that came together, because when you listen to like my last track, or even the track before that, which I actually sang on, which is kind of not really a guitar song, but I did shred at the end. If you listen to those things, you're going to hear bits and pieces of all of those guys in there, but you're still going to hear me in there. It's not like somebody going, okay, well, I'm going to play like Eddie Van Halen in this song because I really worked hard to try to get to sound like him. I just gathered it all together and just let my own creativity come out and be, I just let it all come out like that. So that's how I found my voice. I listened to all the greats, compressed it together, and then just tried to refine and hone my skill so that when I played, it would be something worthwhile to listen to anybody.
That's very cool.
And while you can hear a lot of those influences in your playing, Mike, you still have a unique character to your guitar voice. I mean, it's unique.
Well, I would like to think so. It's very hard to find your voice these days because, Instagram is just insane. I go on there and I see these guys that just, you can almost go on there and see a fetus in the womb playing Eruption now. It's crazy. But that doesn't mean that you're good. Just because you can play fast, there's so many guys on there, and I'm not trying to break balls because I think everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves to do what they do and have a voice. But what I'm really seeing a lack of with all this whole new bastion of guitar players is there ain't no soul in it, man. There's no soul in the play. In many of these players, they're just like, they can shred a million miles an hour, but they don't stop to do what I call, and I talked to Mark Slaughter about this, and I asked him, I said, Mark, you worked with the best people ever. Yngwie's wanted you to play. You worked with George Lynch. The name goes, the list is on and on. I said, why me? And he said, man, you've got that fire. You've got the vibrato, but there's something in there about all of that stuff that's different than George. That I love and that I want to work with you on, because dude, he could get anybody. George actually they were going to get him, and that's another story for another day, or he wanted to play with them. But I think that you somehow, through all of this noise, have to get your own voice. And how you get that own voice is you write your songs and you try to have your own little song, because we can all just sit there and wank away all day, can't we? We can all just wank away, but you have to have there's a frame, and within that, a frame of a song, that's where you get to say who you are and what your voice is. Because I can lay down chords all day, but when you put that signature guitar playing in there, that's where you separate yourself. And, at least that's what Mark Slaughter, told me about it. And I mean, I have no reason to doubt that guy. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, he's worked with the best of the best. And you can say what you want about Vinnie Vincent. He was a fast player, but I mean, George has played with or stood on stage with the best people. And I was very flattered that he would say such kind things about me.
That's so cool. That's really cool. So getting back to the endorsements, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about what you need to do to get to that level, and what happens once you get your first endorsement, and how do you go about doing that? And we'll start with those questions there.
Well, I think that you have to really want to succeed. You have to have a passion to do it. And that kind of went back to what Mark said. You have to have a passion to do it. And then you have to go up Periscope. I mean, you really, really have to have your feelers out. And then somebody's going to come up, an opportunity is going to come up, and you have to grab it and you've got to maximize it. It's very different today to get an endorsement than it was even 6 years ago when I got mine with Boss. Now, it's really hard because it's all driven by views and likes, not so much by talent. Because what happened with me was it was total serendipity. I was going through, just like you guys do all the time, I was looking through Facebook. Man, Facebook has funded my life and it's been such an amazing thing for me. People say all they want about it. Yeah, there's bad stuff about it. But dude, I've gotten some of the most amazing things of life out of that. Great work. So I was just looking at a post, and as far as Boss is concerned, and I just replied to some guy's question about tone or whatever, and I started getting into him with a little bit, not getting into him with it, but talking about it. And he realized that I knew what I was talking about, and it turned out to be a guy named Phil Gates. And Phil Gates was a product representative at Boss who was just getting ready to leave, and he inboxed Yoshi Ikigami and goes, "Hey, go look at this guy's video. He's, his words, accolades. He's amazing. Da 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 da. Go look at him." And so, just by virtue of totally always looking and engaging, I had that opportunity. And then Yoshi saw my videos, which I knew that was the path to the future, because I got some silly little DSLR and I started making all these crazy videos of blowing stuff up and doing all this stupid shit that probably nobody would like now, because this is the bastion of the guitar player in the seat with no head. All you see is this, right? All over Instagram, maybe some guy's head. Yeah. But I knew that I had to do the craziest stuff to try to get attention, and it did, and it worked. So just by virtue of just don't stop hunting for that kind of thing. And that led me, so that was the first really big one. The one that I got that was the lesson. Here's the lesson endorsement to all my friends out there, and to my friends that I don't know personally. To the guys out there, man, 6 years ago, Google and everything. Now, everything is different. The minute now, when you say something about anybody in the music business, or you say something about anybody down the street, what's the first thing we do? Google them, right?
Yep.
You Google them and you go, what's the deal with this guy? What's this person think? That it wasn't kind of even like that 6 months ago. So there was a guy. There was a guy that had some amps, and he's just kind of a weekend hobby kit amp builder guy. And I saw some of his posts and I heard some of the amps, and I was like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. Then I went up and I talked to the guy, and then he gave me an amp, and I said, okay, well, let me do some videos for you and we'll do some stuff. So I started doing that, and the biggest mistake I made with that guy was that I didn't do my research, because it turns out that this guy was bad-mouthing Dave Friedman. He was in all kind of trouble in all the amp chat rooms and the Marshall chat rooms and Rig Talk and other names. He was a convicted fellow. He said all this crap, and I did not do my homework. So I got linked up with that guy And it was an unintended consequence because I didn't do my homework. And then I got a call from a guy one day and he goes, dude, all the guys that are in the business, the manufacturers, they know you're the new guy on the block. Dave Friedman knows who you are. All these people know you are. This is not the guy you want to get involved with. He's bad-mouthing him and he's causing problems. And so I thought at this point, okay, let me just cut bait and I'm just going to walk away from this because, you know, I'm just not, you know, I just, my name is worth more than an $800 kit amp. And I really pushed this guy super hard, man. I tried to raise his level of visibility. His name is Billy Blades. Look him up. That's not even his real name. It's a fake name that he uses, I guess, that makes him seem tough. But that guy, after I did that, I had commission money coming to me. He ripped that off. He didn't give me that. And I was like, all right, still then, dude, I never went out on my Facebook page. I never badmouthed him. Then he came out and he started slandering me, doing it. I still didn't do it. As a matter of fact, to this day, this is the most I've ever said about that guy. The last time anybody in a forum like this asked me about him was Dave Friedman. And I took the high road on that. I think Dave got pissed at me because of that. Well, Dave Friedman, I think you're watching tonight. And you know what I got to say to your question when you ask me about Billy Blades? I say, fuck you, Billy Blades. You should have never said that about Dave Friedman. He's one of the best guys in the business. He's done so many things for everybody. He's a stand-up guy. And I heard you're blacklisted because of the things you've done. And you told me I would fail after that. And nothing but amazing things have happened to me after that. What's the moral of the story? Don't hate on Billy Blades. He's cut his own groove and he's done his own thing. And he's created his own reality. And I'm not even telling you not to buy his amps. What I'm telling you to do is do your homework because you don't want to be associated with people that are going to bring you down. Fortunately, I got away from that guy. And man, I got right after another. The first guy who gave me an endorsement, it just almost brings me to tears, was Adam Reaver. Adam Reaver sent me a little brass block and he goes, I'll endorse you, man. And we both know who Adam Reaver is now, don't we? He owns FU Tone and he's best buddies with Eddie Van Halen. He works with EVH. He gave me that little block. He was the first guy. He was such a sweet guy. And then that led to one thing. Then I got the thing with Boss. And then this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. Then I met Mark Slaughter and started recording with him. Then I got the sub on that. You know, and further back than that, I got to play on one of Bret Michaels' records. Dude, everything went great after that. And look, man, whatever with that guy right now, he's created his own reality. And you can go look him up and see the stuff he's done. This isn't a bashing session for him, even though it felt really good to say that because I know he trolls me all the time and he's a total dick. The point of the matter is do your homework on the people that you're going to get involved with. You don't want to get a pedal and find out that somebody's in all kind of trouble and has pissed everybody off at NAMM and you've got a $125 pedal and he wants $1,000 worth of media from you and all these, you know, he wants videos and all this stuff, this constant stuff. You have to be very, very, very careful about it because you don't want to involve yourself with people that are going to bring you down. That being said, I work my ass off. I keep my head down. I do the best I can with everything that I have. I try to play well. I don't toot my own horn. If somebody wants to say I'm great, that's fine. My credit rating with these people in the business, if there was such a thing as an 850, man, I'm always the first one to lobby for lobby call. I don't miss flights. I don't screw stuff up. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not an alcoholic. Those are the things that if there's anything I can impart to you, just be professional and do your homework and just really, really work hard and be a good guy, man. And if you do, you will get those endorsements. And more important, you'll get callbacks and you'll get other people calling you because they heard you're a good guy. Because at the end of the day, that's what people are going to remember. Sure, they may like my guitar playing or whatever, but people buy into you as a person. And when you're known as a good guy in the business, dude, that's platinum, that's gold. That's why I've been able to keep going. And I had to extricate myself. Do your homework.
Well, that brings me to the next question, which is, how'd you go about getting your auditions to such artists like Mark Slaughter and Bret Michaels and stuff like that? How did that happen?
Boy, I wish I just had these great answers. Like you could go fill out an application.
And it's just, I mean, it takes a great musician. It takes a great musician to get these gigs, I'm sure, and that's what you are. But I mean, how do you find out about them? Or is it that they find you?
Well, I'll tell you about these and what happened for me. I was playing at NAMM, and here's how serendipity happens. Out of every bad thing, a good thing happens. I was doing that demo stuff for Blades at NAMM in 2014, which, by the way, he never paid me for. Didn't even buy me lunch. You know what happened out of that? Mark Slaughter comes walking by with Michael Wagner. You know who Michael Wagner is, right?
Yeah. Before you go any further, I just want to say that I've seen all the videos on your website, and even though you don't have a good relationship with this guy Billy Blades, you still have your videos with his amps directly in front, so people can see them and buy them if they want to. So it's not you're still helping them out, even though you don't have a good relationship with them. So
you're gonna have to show me that video, man, because I'm pretty sure I got rid of every one. The one that you're gonna find that I did, which I was proud of the video that I did, is on his site. I pretty much, there might be one that's on there like that, but again, you need to understand. I'm not saying that amp didn't sound good.
No, the amp sounded great. Yeah.
I helped it to sound good. It doesn't sound like that when it's just sitting there like that. I mean, it's like I did it like you do a record. I went in there and tried to make it sound like a record. It was no easy trick because the amp really doesn't have any balls. There's no low into it. But I did what you do when you do a record. You try to make a tone great, right? So it's not so much the amp. They're okay. And there's like 20 other amps out there by guys at NAMM that I see that sound just as good as that. It's the person. And again, that dude's cut his own groove, and I'm not worried about that. I'm not gonna go do what that guy did on the other channel that I tried to help out and brought Yoshi on, and he cut out all my videos because he was mad at somebody else. I'm not going to do that. You remember we were talking about that earlier?
Yeah.
My playing speaks for itself, and people do things to themselves that they do to themselves. So it's more being careful about the individuals that you're dealing with so much more than the pedals. It's like if I had a falling out with Yoshi, would I throw away all my Boss pedals? I wouldn't do that. Yeah. I think they're great. It's more just your relationships. As far as the endorsement or getting with people in bands or getting an opportunity.
Sorry about that. I need to turn this off.
Come on. We're live.
Johnny Bean with the New York. Come on. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not even in New York.
Dude, and I gotta tell you, man, I must be coming across as such a hard ass about this guy. But dude, this guy, I mean, when you have somebody dog you and talk trash about you in public and you never go back at him, and then you have a guy like Dave frickin' Friedman, which if you any of the guitar guys in this thing, you know who he is. And if Dave Friedman got shit talked about him and he wants you to say that he's a bad guy and you didn't do it, well, I've kind of felt like a douche for not saying what I knew I should have said. So this is my homage to Dave Friedman. And Dave, I already got one of your amps. You don't need to send me one. You can if you want, but I bought that with my own money. He didn't give me that. I bought it because I liked it. Now the amp, they're getting these gigs. Man, I got to tell you, I was in the right place at the right time. When I played on that track, and it wasn't that much guitar on it, but I played on the track Driven by Bret Michaels. It was on the #1 record. It was on the #1 record. I played on that. I mean, I don't care if you play a cowbell on a #1 record. I don't care if you're the placeholder on the Super Bowl team. If you were at the Super Bowl, weren't you at the Super Bowl? I mean, you were there. So it wasn't really it wasn't a banner moment, but my buddy Pete Evick, who I love dearly, he gave me the opportunity. I played on that track, and that's how that happened. And the thing with Mark Slaughter, he walked by with Michael Wagner and he just stopped and he was like, and I'm not bullshitting, I actually had the picture that my brother took of me when Mark stopped there and I wasn't even paying attention. And Mark was standing there with Michael Wagner, and they were both just smiling from ear to ear to ear, and they just sat there and listened to me play for 5 minutes. And then I looked up. I wasn't even really paying attention. That was my audition. I wasn't even paying attention. That just goes to show you, every time you play your ass off. So then that got me involved with Mark. And then the thing with Slaughter came because of Mark. And Mark and I have a track that we have been working on for a long time. And we wanted to release. We're almost ready to release it. And that's a complicated camp, man. They wanted me, basically, they wanted me to, they were looking to replace the guitar player that they have now. I can't remember, the guy's name escapes me at this point. There's all kind of problems. And I'm not going into them because that's there for them to say. But when you're a guy that is just the SWAT team sniper on call guy, you don't care what the other guy did. You're just kind of waiting, right? I'm not really privy to, exactly what he did. But so anyway, they kept telling me, we're going to do a 25th, or we're going to do some kind of reunion tour for the Slaughter Stick It To Me record. So in the meantime, Mark and I were working on stuff, and we were getting ready to release this record. We were going to release a single, and we were going to do a video. And then during that time, that guitar player, I don't know that people know this, but the same band, the same three guys that play with Slaughter, other than the singer, play for Vince Neil. Didn't know that you know that. So the drummer, the guitar player's named Jeff Blando. Dana is the bass player, and Zoltan is the drummer. So essentially, that band just goes back and forth. They will travel. It's the same band. So they were looking to replace this guy for whatever reason. You could maybe go find out why. So in the meantime, I was working with Mark, and then that was the time I got to go play with Slaughter up at I don't know. It's the place where Richie Valens played before, and the Big Bopper and all them, before their plane crashed that night. What is the name of that place? The Surf Ballroom.
Is that it?
Yeah. So I got the chance to do that, but that was all through Mark, and all that all kind of came through him. So it's all sort of serendipity, and it was a surreal moment because Lynch Mob opened for us that night. So I was up there, and I was just finishing up sound check, and I'm playing, and then I turn around, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, I didn't even recognize him, and he goes, "Hey man, is it okay if I put my amp? Can I put my amp right here on my cabinet right here in front of you?" I had this wall of Marshalls. Because can I put this here? And I said, "Yeah, man, it's okay. It's okay. I don't know. I guess Lynch Mob's playing." And he looked up and he goes, "Hey, I'm George."
That's awesome.
And I go, "Yes, you are." And I'm just sitting there shredding before that. And he was so polite. He stopped and waited. And so it's like being a guy in a club, and you always looked at this guy. And next thing you know, it's not like he was opening up for me. He wasn't opening for me. I was just a fill-in guy, but it was just a moment in time where it was freaking surreal. Here I am, and then here's opening, and you know what I mean? It's just kind of cool. So we got into a long conversation, and then I helped George. He didn't have his Variac that night. I use a Variac on all my stuff back here. So I loaned him this one that I had borrowed from a buddy of mine because I left my big one at home. It's too heavy to carry. A guy named Burke Hunn. He's a great amp tech. He's an amazing guy. He makes this thing called the Honeyac, and it's a little box. It's probably, I don't know, this by that, and it's not like a giant Variac. So I said, George said, "Man, your tone is freaking killer." And I said, he goes, "Damn, I forgot my Variac." And dude, he's out there with his 68 Plexi on the road. And I'm like, I had to look at him and go, "What are you doing, man? You're bringing a 68 Plexi on the road?" And this is where I got schooled. And he goes, "That's the tone." And I'm like, "Well, you're right about that." And so and then I said, "Well, you didn't bring your Variac. Do you want to borrow mine? You can use it to open up. You use it to open the show." So he plugged it in, and there goes George Lynch playing on this box that I lent him, and he's just sitting there playing all the shit that we've all just gone gaga for. And I'm going, what kind of treat is this that what did I do to deserve this? Right?
Yeah.
So he takes it, and then I didn't see it for a year. He took it. See you later, man. And so eventually, though, in George's defense, he's a sweetheart. He took care of Burke, and everything worked out. And so that was really good. And it was neat to see him. I hadn't seen him since that night that they opened for us. I hadn't seen him in a while since this past NAMM. And I walked up, and him and Dave were sitting there. It was funny. They were sitting there on looked like road crates or something like that. And poor George he was hammered, super drunk. And Dave was sitting there, and they were doing shots. Oh yeah, I don't care. It's just maybe they're having fun, right?
Yeah, sure.
He looked up at me, and it was just, you could just tell he was feeling no pain. And he goes, "Hey man," and I'm like, "Dude, you stole my equipment." And his eyes got all big. I was just kidding with him, And it took him a second to put it together, and then he did, and we had a nice little chat. And then there's a picture on Facebook of us there. But it was a great experience. I think just to bundle this all up for you, David, and for everybody out there, man, there is no application for being a rock star, which is, I don't call myself that, or a rock musician or professional. You just have to hustle your ass off, always play your ass off, always be professional, always be a good guy, and just keep like a hawk, man. You got to be like an eagle, dude. You got to take off first thing in the morning before the sun comes up, and you got to be hunting it down. You got to be hunting it down and playing your ass off, And when that time comes, go through that door and don't choke.
Mm-hmm.
Don't choke. And that opportunity will come. It will come.
I believe that too. I believe if you have to want it, you have to want to do it. You have to want to give up everything to want it, to do it. I think it's very hard to serve for lack of better words, two gods. It's hard to have a day job, a 9 to 5, and then want to be a rock star, because it's not enough time to devote to being a rock star or to getting to that point. It
takes a lot, man. I mean, when I first started playing, I was a kid. I was at it 8 hours a day, and then when I was in my teens into my 20s, I had to go. I had to make some loot. And I wasn't in a full-time band yet, so I went and worked construction all day. And then I would come home at that point, and I would play until I just blacked out and went to bed. But when you're 19, 20 years old, you can do that. But as we get into, you get 30 and 40 years old, man, you got commitments in life and a kid. It's very, very difficult to make that time. But and with myself, I just have to make an appointment with myself. I just have to go, you know what? I got to be honest with you. There's in my career and the stuff that I do with all these videos and stuff, there's like 2% guitar playing and 90%, 98% everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you have to remind yourself of what got you to the game.
Yeah.
And that's playing, and you do have to log that time.
Right. I have to digress for just a second. I'm glad you brought up the Honey Act, because our friend Caleb from Nerd Halen asked us to ask you about the story of the Honey Act. So that was very cool.
Caleb is a super nice guy, man.
Great guitar player. What a great guitar player. His band is awesome. Just awesome stuff.
He's a good dude. He's one of the few that I ran into out there, and I got to talk with him for a second at NAMM, and he was hovering around, I think right after I had talked to George and Dave. He was there, and he's such a good dude. All these guys are great guys, man. Let me see who else I can see. I want you to keep asking me these questions, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
My friends in here, Sue, hi. Daniel Halen, man, I love you. Of course, Barry Gretsch, Billy Blades. Dude, come on, man. Put your pants back on. And pull your pants up. Who else is in here that I can say hello to? Michael Smith. Hey, Michael.
Cameron Brown. I got to say hello to Cameron Brown too. He's also an EVH endorsee, and he's an amazing guitar player. I don't know if you know who Cameron Brown is, but he's one of our favorites.
I've heard of him. Let me give one more plug. My friend she's still a dear friend. Roanne was married to Janie Lane.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah, and she's got a wonderful daughter with him. And Roanne very soon is going to have a great book that she's been talking about it for a while. She's going to come out with a great book, and boy, has she got some insane stories. And she's got some stories. She dated Donald Trump, believe it or not.
No, really?
She's a rock star. Oh yeah, she was in all these magazines and all that. So she's a very good person. We're still very good friends. We're not seeing each other, thing like that. There's all, but she's super cool. I've got other great friends that are out here doing it. And the reason why I do that is because I think it's nice to call out people that you know for a long time who are trying to do something with their career, and they deserve something from life. Like Sean and all these other guys, and Caleb and all these other people, man, they're out there busting their ass, and they're looking for that. They're looking for that time. And I appreciate everybody that's even come in there to just stick around for a minute to, even hear anything that I have to say. Cause I really, I don't know. I don't think it's that interesting, but I do love talking about gear though.
So that's what we're going to get to next. First of all, let's talk about that guitar right beside you.
This one.
Yeah. That guitar that should be in this room here.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That is bitching. I especially love where the input jack is, or I guess output jack.
So these are bare knuckle Juggernaut pickups. And I'm not really a high gain pickup guy. I like to keep it down low so you can hear all the articulation in it. But I just went with them, man. They really, it's just something different for me, and I just wanted to try it. And I've never seen. I like to try to go for now things that I've never seen before, or something that's super unique. I mean, it's like 24 frets. It's just basically, it's 24 frets. I've always wanted the reverse neck. Scott at PST Guitars put this together for me. Of course, at some point I am, this won't have a Floyd Rose on it. It's going to have an FU tone block on there. I promise you, Adam.
The FU2?
I've been too busy, and I get a block. I'll get all his stuff on here because I just love him. And on top of that, he makes super great quality stuff. I mean, it's smoking. And this is also there's a 5-way switch on this. So, just like a regular Strat. So, this, obviously one position is the humbucker, 2 is the humbucker and, or 1 coil, the bridge coil, and the far end coil, not the closest one. So, 2 position is this and that. Middle is this by itself. 4 position is the neck and this again for a more out of phase type of sound. And then obviously that's the rhythm, and it's 24 frets. And this thing just plays itself, man. I mean, it's a stunning guitar. I mean,
Wow.
It just begs to be played. Plus, I got actually the real kind of abalone fret inlays on it. They're not the cheap cheese ball plastic. They're like the real ones. You can see them kind of reflecting, maybe kind of. See I call it mother of squirrel, but you got mother of squirrel inlay. But that's the real deal pearl shit, man.
That looks awesome.
Very, very expensive.
Nice.
Very expensive. And then it also has the your truss rod adjustment wheel there.
Yeah, that's the best. It's awesome. The only time I don't like that wheel is if you're trying to build a vintage style guitar to make it look like an old one. But other than that, that wheel it's the best invention on a guitar as far as doing neck adjustments.
For me,
perfect functionality. Perfect.
For me, for traveling, dude, every time I come off that plane, this thing just plays totally different. And you have to have it, especially if you don't go into a gig. It always is going to move. Even when I take it on the plane and I put it in the overhead bin, because of the pressurization and all that, it moves. And then, so all you got to do is just crank that. And it's just, You can fix it in a split second. The other guitar I had, the Himmel guitar, that really sucked because I had to take the whole freaking neck off. Oh my gosh, boy, that was murder. That was really, really difficult to do that. But this one, man, it's just it's very user friendly. It's extremely user friendly.
Very cool.
And then there's that one back there.
Yeah, let's get into that guitar right now. Let's get into that beautiful Les Paul. You know, it's funny. Since I saw that guitar, I've been searching Reverb and eBay for Les Paul Customs with a Floyd Rose on it. Because it's just, you know, how cool is that thing?
Well, this started life as a 1968 Les Paul Custom. And it's got an ebony neck on it. It had two pickups. Obvious, clearly at 1968, there was no tremolo. So, in wanting to have some kind of ultimate guitar, I decided to do a couple of different things. When I bought the guitar, somebody had already bastardized it and put in a Kaler.
Oh, the K word. Oh.
And then so I fixed that by putting an existing Floyd Rose I had in. And again, Adam, I'm going to get the right one at some point when I get used to it. Put a detuner in there, and then you can put the tremolo in the back, so it won't. You can't see it from here, but look at that beautiful buckle rash. How much rock and roll got played on that?
I'd say a lot.
And so, so the next trick was, this is a 2-pickup guitar. I've always thought those 3-pickup Black Beauty Les Pauls were sexy, man. I thought they looked badass. So I was like, okay, I went to my guy, Scott at PST Guitars. I said, dude, I want to Dremel that out and I want to put that pickup in there. He just sat there and looked at me. He didn't say anything. He just it was like the look of dumbfounded. And I said, no, I want to do it. And he goes, and Scott's got balls. And he goes, I can do it. He's a master luthier. We Dremel that out. We put that in. And then I said, I have an idea about a switch. I don't just want the regular Les Paul 3-way. I want to put in a super switch so I can go from 1 to 2, just like a Strat, to the middle, and then so forth, 4, which is these two, and then the rhythm pickup. And so Scott took it and he Dremeled it out, and we had to widen the pocket, but we got that thing in there, man. And I thought when I got it back, when I walked into you're in a beautiful home. I walked in his home and I saw it laying and I saw it sitting in the living room. I was like seeing the most, if you like girls and you see a really, really beautiful one, you know the reaction. That's the reaction I had to this guitar. I was like stunned. I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And then I thought to myself, this is going to be a wall hanger. It's destroyed. I know there's going to be no weight left. It's just going to sound hollow. It's not going to have any balls. And I picked it up. Dude, this thing's like still probably 12.5 pounds. And we plugged it in, and it sounds every bit as heavy as any Les Paul, and thick and girthy and just solid as any guitar that I've ever had. So that was a massive gamble to do this because I could have destroyed it. And whoever had it before, the neck, it's never been refretted, but the neck is just, it's beautiful, man. It plays is good in a different way, a little bit of a different feel, but every bit as beautiful and loose as any Les Paul you ever played. You could do the John Sykes vibrato. It's like woo, woo, woo. It's just stunning. So, and then I put the strap locks on it, and black and gold is kind of my thing. I love that, and I might even paint that. Much to Dave's chagrin, I might even paint that Himmel black and do black and gold on that. But that's fine
too. Or have a second one made.
It's a story for another day. But black and gold is my theme, man. I love it. So, and then obviously everything you see on there is black and gold. See the black and gold, the lug nuts or the locking nuts.
Yeah.
And then it's a little chewed up in the back, but there's no cracked neck.
I love the fact that the Floyd is mounted from behind with the holes in behind. I honestly think that that nut is even though you take the chance of dropping the guitar and the headstock breaking, I think the nut is on there better than if it is from the two little screws going on the top. I just think there's more of a transference of resonance.
It's just to me, it's more of a solid connection.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, but I'm just
Can you guys pardon me while I
flipping over my words?
I'm going to go back to the GQ hair out of my face look. I just can't take it. So this is me. So in any event, I took the gamble and I did all of that, man. It worked out beautifully and it just sounds stunning. So again, these are Juggernaut, bare knuckles Juggernaut pickups. It came with these really, really gnarly looking. It had all the holes drilled and punched for every pole piece. So you follow what I'm saying? So
yeah, sure.
Pieces all like that. And I said, man, I've always liked that solid gold look. And then I think, oh, I'm going to put it on there. It's going to take some of the top end and the bite off. It's going to suck, but it's still going to look badass. So I'm still at the point with this guitar where I'm just thinking I'm going to destroy it anyway. So let me just keep going as far as I can. So I put them on, and the surprising thing about it, it almost took a little bit of the extra nip off the top that I had to roll off the amp because it's just surprisingly bright for a Les Paul, obviously because of the tremolo, and it just mellowed it just a little bit, and it was it really worked out well. I'm no regrets on anything I've done to this guitar, zero.
Now let me ask this: you had a tech put the covers on, or did you do it yourself?
No, I didn't do it. I became smart enough at that point that if I'm going to take large gambles and replace, it's like replacing a Ferrari motor. I'm not going to do it myself.
All right, so maybe did your tech dip the pickups in paraffin wax before he put the covers on?
He did. He's consummate pro. He did everything. He repotted.
That's probably exactly why it's calmed the high end down a little bit. It's that paraffin wax, and that's it's essential in my opinion. It's essential on every humbucker to get them dipped in paraffin wax so that you don't have any squeal. The high end is calmed down, and it just sounds like a beautiful pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I just I'm so fortunate to have gotten this guitar, man. All of this gear is a total blessing from God. Now, if you may not believe in God, I don't even care what
I do.
Yeah. It's like I'm going to say I do. I ain't got no shyness about it because I got everything I got from out of my I just believe that that's where it came from, and I've got great gear, and I'm just super blessed to have it. I mean, look at all this stuff, man. I mean, I got the Universal Audio, this dual 610, and all this stuff, and I've got a great mic back here, and I know we were going to talk about cinematography. I've got a brand new Blackmagic movie camera. It's a cinema camera. It's the new 4.6 G2, which I do the videos on, and everything's super professional. Anything that you could see, anything that you see on MTV or anything, they shoot a lot of that with that. They use red cameras too, but they use these as well. And I've got a bunch of other guitars back here. If you're interested in looking at one or two more, I can.
Yeah. Bring whatever out you'd like to bring out. I'd love to do that.
If not, we can move on. I actually want to show you my dogs too at some point. So
yeah, we'd love to see your dogs.
And I talked to Doug Pennick about some guitars, and I got this.
That's awesome. Is that one? Is that
this?
What is that? That's a Dean.
12-string Dean. So it's like a freaking piano, man.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
I love those things. I love Doug Pennick. King's X is one of my favorite bands. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a chance to hang out with him and talk with him a few times. He's a really sweet guy, man. He's a real good guy. So once I did that, I was like, we were talking about that. And then I was like, well, I really like that, but I like your sound too. And he goes, well, why don't you go get one of these?
Man, that's cool. Oh, wow. I never knew there was a Doug Pinnick.
Dude, the signature Doug Pinnick bass is super badass. I mean, this thing plays like,
yeah. Oh, I need one of those.
That's awesome.
It's too, man. Listen, man, trust me, every guitar player is a frustrated bass player.
Well, I think every guitar player needs to have a bass, and I have one, but I don't want to show it to you.
And then, then I have
there you go,
yeah.
Jimi Hendrix guitar.
Oh yeah.
This is
Yeah, very cool.
because I've always loved that. You know who made me love it? Obviously, Hendrix looks great playing it, but these things just look killer, don't they? It's just rock and roll. It looks rock and roll. And the one who I love who always played these like that was Joe Perry. Always has that reverse neck Strat.
Oh, yeah.
That's this. And I use this a lot on stuff that I need a little bit cleaner and I don't want to do all the super grind. I use that. And then for my acoustic stuff, this is probably going to sound horribly out of tune because I just re-capoed it.
Is that like a Taylor 710 or something like that?
So this is a baby Taylor.
It is?
And dude, these baby Taylors, I'm telling you, for
it looks so much bigger than
what I thought. Baby Taylor Mini. It's just it's a baby Taylor. It just says baby Taylor. It's not like a mini guitar. But the thing of it is, the wood, the tone on the wood, it's so even sounding that when you you can play it on a record and it doesn't have this big boomy bottom fat end, which everybody thinks you need this big round sound. When you're doing acoustic, you don't want that when you're tracking, like then you don't have to do all this rolling off crap with your EQ, and it just sounds really mid, and it sits in the mix. It sits in the mix very, very nicely. So I love this guitar. I mean, I could have bought one of the $5,000 ones, but I'm just like, nah, fuck that. This thing sounds great. And when
I love you. That's so funny.
But the bottom line is every guitar has a story in it, and when you pick it up, it's going to start telling that story. The third chord, you play it, and if it's speaking to your heart and your soul, if you got the loot, take that guitar home because it has songs for you in it, and you need to get it. And that's all I look at these things at is now. What I look at is a little bit different. Is the Les Paul is a life guitar. That's not going anywhere. Not saying that any of these other ones wouldn't, but that's a life. Now, for a cheap guitar that I've used on some tracks that people have thought was something else is this guitar. Guess what this is?
I mean, it looks like a Hammer. It doesn't look cheap to me. Oh, Michael Kelly, look at that.
Really? Yeah.
Dude, this thing sounds brutal. I mean,
Sam Ashbrand.
It's super ballsy. I mean, really, for what it is, and I don't want to get into playing on here because I'm just playing through a plug-in, and it probably just sounds like total ass. But stay.
So that's the Sam Ash like house brand?
Yeah, Sam Ash bought them a couple of years ago.
Sounds great, man.
It just goes to prove that it's in the hands. It doesn't matter what you play. It's in the hands.
It's
Let
the player.
Let us not forget that Eddie Van Halen's first guitar was $140 on the first 5 records.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hands, really. I mean, you do have to. Granted, you do have to set it up right and get that going. And then there's this I bought, which eventually I'm going to use with the 12 string, and I'm just going to have this jamboree of a million. Probably horribly out of tune.
Sounds great. Alvarez, they make fantastic guitars.
The bottom,
really do.
This isn't a $10,000 guitar, but it sounds and plays killer.
Yeah. My a buddy of mine turned me on to Alvarez guitars. He gets them, he plays them as well, and they're just awesome acoustic guitars.
I mean that's ballsy, you know. I mean, and it doesn't have this really super bloated, low end, weird basswood type of sound. It's kind of mid range, which I love because, you know, I mean, I've got everything over here to fix it, but the less you use to fix it here and you more to use just the color and the beauty of the tubes here, that's what you want. You don't want to spend all day fixing a problem. You want to cut a track.
Mm-hmm. You want it to sound good right out of the gate.
I agree.
And then you add the gate.
That's right.
If you have to.
You want to try to get it as close as possible, you know, when you hear it. And I've been doing it for long enough to where I can pick it up and I can tell right away. And also with these guitars, man, I can pretty much now I can walk through Guitar Center. I don't know, you guys are probably like this too. I can just look at a guitar that they don't allow you to touch anymore, by the way, which is a sin.
It's crazy.
I can just look at it and I can tell you which ones play great or not. I just can.
Well, I worked for Guitar Center for about 10 years.
Yeah. And
I can tell you that most of them, if not all of them, don't play great on the wall because the problem with that is, and I've said it before on here, you know, you got all your salesmen they work on commission, and it's very hard for them to make money because if they don't sell, they get reprimanded.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a vicious circle because the guitars won't sell if they're not set up, yet they don't have time to set them up because they have to sell.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a very hard it's like a tightrope thing. It's very hard to control.
Well, I think the main problem is because they're so it's so bottom liney that they are not. Those kids in there working in there don't know shit about guitars, man. I mean, most of them don't.
These days, no. But when I was there, especially in the store I worked in 2 stores here on Long Island, and both stores, all of them had everyone in the guitar department at least knew everything about them and was able to set stuff up and do the right thing, and everyone took care of their customers really well. Nowadays, I think they're more or less looking for heartbeats.
Yeah.
Instead of someone that knows how to do stuff.
Yeah, they're just trying to move. and I don't want to get out of the line of our question on this, and we've gone over a little bit, and I don't have a problem with that, and I want to get to the cinematography thing that you were talking about because it's
that was going to be my next question.
So, but before we do that, Vance Voltron goes, and I knew this. Where's the dogs? We want to see baby Chloe.
Yeah.
So, Kim, maybe I can bring her in for a second if you guys want to do that. That would be cool.
Yeah, and just so here's my Mike Himmelator moment.
Look at that. Can you punch in on that? Oh, look at that! Wow, that's beautiful.
How about that neck?
Isn't that
crazy?
Is that roasted maple?
It's roasted maple. It's a roasted flame maple neck. I just put these pickup covers on these pickups today, and the funny thing is, you see the pickup adjustment screws?
Yeah.
They're not real. I glued them on because the pickups are screwed into the body.
Wow.
So I glued them in just to make it look like it's supposed to be there.
That's a
Let's see the back of the headstock.
Oh, what's it? Oh, would you like to know what's in the back of the headstock?
What, Dave? What is on the back of that headstock?
That would be a hex hider, Allen key wrench. Thanks to FU-Tone. And actually, all of the inserts and everything, all the upgrades on this. Unfortunately, it's not an FU2 bridge; it's a Floyd Rose. But that's how this guitar came. All the inserts and everything. This is all FU-Tone upgrades, and there is a big brass block in this guitar. Also, although you can't see it, there is one.
Yeah. The only thing beautiful. The only thing missing is, and you're gonna do what I did: take it out in the garage and hit it with that blowtorch. Oh
yeah, and the middle single coil, which I was on a slant. But you know what? That's really your gig.
Nah.
I'm just considering this a tribute to you. It's not a replica, but it's a tribute.
I'm not the first guy who did it. Hey, look, it's Billy Blades again. It's Spencer K. Poon, and he wants to see my dogs too. What an idiot. But that is a good idea, though. So, probably the first one he's had since whatever. Anyway, let me grab one of my dogs and bring him in here, man. And show him to you. And whilst I do that, as they said on Coffee Talk, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. I promise.
All right. Cool.
So, Dave, you took Johnny's advice and put the hex hider on the back of the headstock instead of leaving it on the deck.
I put it on here last night, and it just stayed on. It doesn't want to come off. It just doesn't want to come off. The goddamn thing doesn't want to come off. It's here. It's like the fucking flu. You can't lose it. Once you get it, you can't get rid of the goddamn flu. It's the same thing here.
Oh my gosh. I still have the Namthrax. Although I didn't get it as bad as Mancuda.
Actually, I just spoke to Mancuda today. I was on the phone with him for like an hour, and he's doing better. And that's it, really. He's just doing better.
That's good.
He's gonna have a story to tell us on Tuesday, though. I think he's gonna have a rant. He's gonna have a big rant about his car, I believe.
Oh yeah, I should have told him because he dropped me off at my car.
Yeah.
Which is 4 blocks away from the convention center. And when he was driving off, I noticed one of his taillights was out, and I forgot to tell him. Yeah. I should have told him.
That's too bad.
Wow.
So while we're waiting for Mike, I just want to thank everyone in the chat, in the live chat, for being here with us tonight. Great. It's been a great show. I want to thank Ty Price for being on here with us.
Pleasure.
Yeah, it's really cool. I want to thank Johnny for actually having the time to do this. So it's very cool.
Well. I'm in between shows.
I know, and you got to split soon, I think. But we're probably gonna ask you. Hey, look at this.
Oh, who's that?
That's a big tongue. Oh my goodness.
This is baby Chloe. Hi, everybody. My name is baby Chloe.
So what kind of dog is she?
She is a Presa Canario. It's an Italian dog, and she's a purebred. I got her a while back. She will be about 150 pounds maybe. She's gonna be a big girl. Oh. So she's so sweet, man. She's amazing. She's still learning, but she's awesome, man. She's such a good girl. And she's part of the whole Himmelator clan, and she's up here all the time when I'm cutting the track. So is Bubba, and they're always with me, you know, doing the music stuff. And as you know, with your dog, they become such a part of your life, man. I mean, they're
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you could see Brandy. She's in her little bed right there. I don't know if you can see that. Hey, Johnny, can you help me out here? Oh, right there. There's Brandy.
look at her.
Brandy, come here. Hi, Brand. Come here, girl. Come here. Come here. No, wrong side. Here you go. There's my girl.
Oh, how old is she now?
She's almost 12, and you know, for a while she's had some problems with her hind legs. She has a little bit of arthritis, but we've been giving her some medication, and she's now running in the yard again, and she's jumping up on the couch. She hasn't been able to do that, and I can't in like at least a year.
Right.
And we have one more dog here, which you saw earlier off camera, but oh, you want to? This is Snickers.
Oh, Snickers.
Yes.
Snickers.
And this is Desiree. This is my fiance Desiree.
Hey, Desiree.
Hey, Desiree.
But Snickers, you know, Brandy and Snickers, the two other than my fiance here, they are the loves of my life, and I can't get enough of this little dog. Oh, and she's crying.
Oh.
She's like, I don't want to be on camera, Daddy.
Well, thank you guys so much. I should probably wrap it up. I did want to talk.
Yeah, can we just talk about one more thing? Is that
Your
okay?
camera, Dave. Your camera. I go.
My camera.
You
Oh,
can't see
geez.
your face.
No, I'm sorry, but at least my guitar was in front of my crotch. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the eruption video and
Yeah, sure.
hang on one second. My exact question is written down here, and I'm an idiot for not having it ready. So the eruption video, tell us a story. How long did it take you to get the exact tone? How long did you have to sit and practice it to get it perfect? You know, all the inflections, the sound. I mean, it sounds just like you close your eyes and it sounds like Eddie. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think, like probably the rest of you guys, I've been trying to play that for 40 years. Or my whole life. It seems like I've gotten bits and pieces of it, and then I finally decided that this is a mountain that I want to do it once. I want to try this. You know, this is my Everest. I want to see if somebody can do this, and if that somebody can be me. So. Pete Thorne really did a good job of breaking down a lot of the parts in his video, which was umpteen parts. I don't know how many it was. So I wanted to, and he did a great job, by the way. Pete's great.
Oh yeah, Pete's one of the best. He's awesome.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude. But I wanted to not only, I didn't just want to play the parts right. I wanted to tie in. Try to get. He wasn't trying to do this, which who knows whether he could or couldn't. Who knows? Who knew whether I could do it or not? But I wanted to marry the tone and try to nail that tone and the feel. I wanted the trifecta. I wanted to see if it was possible to do that. So when I did that, it took me. I think I want to say 3 weeks. I spent about a week on the guitar tone. And that was going through spectrographs I had on the spectrograph, and all of it, just analyzing where his peaks were, all the different things, all the nuances in the tonal structures and what frequencies he was hitting, so I could try to match that part of it the best I could. So just really working on that tone, and then trying to pick the proper guitar to do it with, which was at the time the Himmel. However, that guitar that I just showed you, that Michael Kelly, that has that pickup in there now. So when you heard that thing growling, there's just something about that. And by the way, MJ, who makes all of Eddie's pickups, made that pickup for me. The gal at Seymour The girl
Yeah.
at or Duncan that does Eddie's pickup, she did that for me because I told her what I wanted and she did it, which is like another stunning, stupid moment. Like, how did that happen for me? But it took a week to get the tone. And then it took about another week to learn those parts. And then it took another week to get the hardest part was to get the timing on it, because there's no timing because it's not in a song.
Right.
And if you don't play that piece with the same time structure really close to it, it's not going to sound like Eruption, even if you get the tone, even if you get the parts. So I would have, in one ear, I would have Eddie's sound on this side, and I'd have mine on it, and I'd watch the waveform come up, and I'd try to stay with him. So for the first 25 or 30 times, he smoked me and left me in the dust. And by 7 seconds later, he's just gone down the tracks. Now, he wrote it, his song, his feelings, so he's going to know what he's doing. Plus, he had help, and it was, nice mixture of Coke and Schlitz malt liquor in there, and good. The Coke pushed him to be fast, and the liquor pulled him back to be in the pocket. So I wasn't getting high. I wasn't doing blow or drinking. So I just had to do this all on proper organic, biological circumstances. So I sat there and I had to try to play it with his time. And slowly but surely, I would use the fader and I would start fading him out. And then I would fade it back in to see if I was where he was at. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
So I would, and then I stopped looking at the track, because then I could kind of cheat and look at it. But you can do automation to where you can just fade things out and fade it back in. So I'd be like doing the, and then I'd bring his back up, and then he'd be gone.
Yeah.
And then I'd do it again, and then it'd get closer and closer and closer and closer. So then when I found out that the timing was really close, then I had the tone, then I knew I had the licks. Then is when I actually started to track the song. So really, it took a month.
Well, that's a lot shorter than it. I still have. It's 40 years, and I still haven't done it.
Well, I've been trying to do it for 40 years, but to really scientifically try to break down the elements of why that performance is what it is. Every time we hear it, we don't know that we're listening to it, and we're so used to that time that if that time was any different, it wouldn't sound like Eruption.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Like if you listen to it on vinyl, and the vinyl's kind of warped, or if your tape is warped, it's different. It's not the same.
And also, when he plays it live, he's hyped up and he plays it faster. He's playing all the same stuff early on. I saw his first 5 concerts. The first concert, I was there at Van Halen 1 when he did the infamous gig at the Capitol Center, when he let Ted Nugent play on his rig, and Ted thought he had a magic box back there, and there was no magic box. I met Eddie that day. And by the way, another story about Eddie, all this serendipity stuff, man, I've been a fortunate guy. Eddie was the one who showed me how to play Eruption to a degree. Because when I met him at the record store and they were doing an in-store, he didn't have his guitar with him. There was no YouTube. Nobody knew what the hell he did.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't even, Steven Rosen hadn't gotten the interview with him yet, I don't think. So everybody said it was a guitar. Nobody knew how he did it. So I got in line, and here I am, this little kid. And I'm going, how do you make that sound, man? What is that? What is that? And he goes, well, you play guitar? And I said, yeah, I just started playing. He goes, well, you know where the nut is? Up here? I said, yeah. And he goes, well, just move your finger up, and wherever your finger is, that's going to be the nut. And then can you do this little hammer-on thing? Have you learned to do that yet? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, just do that, and then take your other finger and tap on a note up here and just make it 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's how I play Eruption. And I just move it up and down the neck. Eddie Van Halen was the one who showed me how to do it.
That's very cool.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So the full circle of it is that I felt, I just did it as an homage. I wasn't trying to one up anybody or doing it. I did it for myself. I got a lot of views on it, but I did it for myself. I heard somebody told me that he loved it. I know that I told you guys a story about Eruption or about Atomic Punk when he heard that.
Yeah, that's funny.
He got upset and made me pull that, and then he came back later, and he said it was great and let me put it back up.
That's awesome.
Ask Adam Reaver that, because it came through Adam Reaver, and he even from my lips to God's ears. Adam Reaver even told Mark Slaughter that when Adam worked with us at a show in New Jersey. Adam was teching for us when I was playing with Mark Slaughter, and he was the one who sat down there and told Mark that, because I was always thinking, I love Adam. I was always thinking that might be some bullshit war story, man. He's just trying to make it sound cool. No, you don't tell Mark Slaughter a story like that, because Mark Slaughter can find out if it's the truth or not.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of how I did that. And then once I did it, I can kind of see why Eddie was just like, I don't know. I love that first record and the second one. They just have such uniqueness to them. I could see where he kind of did it. And he was like, okay, well, let me go on to the next thing. And then the next thing he did on the next record was Spanish Fly. And then it was some other kind of little thing. He just was in that, I call it that purple band, where no matter what he did, he was just coming up with shit that was just incredible. And then I think by 1984, that was pretty much that. And then he met Sammy Hagar, and when David left the group, then I think he became a chord songwriter, not a riff songwriter anymore. Right. It became about chords, which was, hey man, consummate musician. So that's kind of how I decided to do Eruption. I just thought to myself, this is my Mount Everest. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do it. I don't need to do it every night. I just need to do it one time right. Right? You just get it one time. And is it perfect? Oh, I don't know. Eddie even said,
pretty damn right. It's pretty damn perfect.
It's pretty close.
Eddie said that he made a mistake. And I actually went and I learned the mistake that he did and put that in there too. So, because I wouldn't have played it like that. He turned the hammer on around. He was going like, oh, I'm not plugged in, but it was like, and he went.
Yes.
He did it backwards. And it was a club, but he's just was such a genius and a virtuoso at that point that that his mistakes were just things that we would pray to happen to us. It was a happy accident. So that was the story on that. And you were going to say something about the cinematography, I think.
Yes. Yeah. I basically because I let my phone turn off. What an idiot.
Oh,
sorry. Well, it is. I'm an idiot.
David's the one who's a rock star, not me.
Yeah.
Right. Blow it up.
All right. So first of all, what's the process on making a video like Sunset Crash? For those of you who don't know what Sunset Crash is, it's Mike Himmel's latest video, and he is the cinematographer on it. He did all the instruments. He's in the video. The Lamborghini is in the video. It is just the Les Paul is in the video. It is an incredible video. The song is great. But what does it take to do that? How did you do all that stuff?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the kind words. It takes a lot of hard work. I had done a previous video with a director who's really outstanding, Alyssa Dagbo. She's very, very talented gal. And we had done one previously. And I wanted to get back to my roots and my base, because I just wanted to dip my toe in the pool with the singing to see if anybody liked it, because I'm known as a guitar player primarily. Right, Chloe? She's looking at me like that.
Like, she's like, it's dinner time.
Yeah, she's looking at me like I'm a ham sandwich.
She once she settles down, she listens to everything I say, which is more than I can say for most people in my life. But that's why we have dogs. But the point being is that I had worked with her on the one, and she was great, man. She found the location, she did all the stuff, and she was really good at putting that together. But what I also learned was, in life, trust your fucking instincts, because everything that they were doing, I already knew I could do and had done before. They did it well, very well, for the video, that type of video. However, when you do a guitar video, it's a different thing doing an instrumental than a vocal because you have more of a storyline to draw from. In the other one, there's a guy, this name of the song is Take Me Back. I don't believe when you say that you don't love me. I don't believe you say what you care. Okay, you got a story. You can get a girl. You can get the guy. You can have that interplay. When you have an instrumental, dude, you ain't got nothing but yourself. That's what you have in the music, right?
Yeah.
So now what do you got to do? You have to double time. You have to do ESP editing on that damn thing to keep that thing exciting, because if you don't, people are going to be falling asleep. So I do what I call a sports editing on that. So I went back out and I used her as the director, and then I used the same camera guy. But when she went to do the edits, we agreed that we would both do the edits on this one. She did the edits, and we had a disagreement. It wasn't angry. It wasn't anything. I just said, this isn't going to work. It's not going to work. And because I edit, and I've done every video that I had, and I had the footage, I just said, I'm going to do this. So I edited it like I edit all my other videos, and that's how it came out. All the previous videos, other than those two that you worked with, I've done all the shooting, all the editing. You know, occasionally I would definitely have somebody that would help me with the camera, especially if I was doing motion stuff. But I set up the scenes, I set up the lighting, I set up the directing, I do all that. I pick the camera angles, the lenses, everything that I need. And then once it gets done, I take all the footage, I bring it into my my iMac Pro, which is, it's amazing. I've got, some of the best software in there that you can get, or it is the best. I prefer Final Cut. Some people like Premiere. It's like Premiere is like, people say it's like either Pro Tools or Logic, and it's either Premiere or Final Cut. But I prefer Final Cut. I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes out the same. So I edit all of my own videos. I do all of my own audio. I do all my own production on, all of my recordings, all the music that goes into it. I program the drums, I play all the bass, obviously on the stuff, the singing I'm doing. So I do all of it. But the reason why I did that, David, is because I realized that nobody was giving out record deals anymore by the time we got into these 2000s. Mm-hmm. They're not giving them anymore. They want you to do everything. They want you to get 1 million followers. They want to do everything. Then they want to take a chunk out of it. So what I decided was, I'm going to be my own wheelhouse, and I'm going to be the director. I'm going to be the producer. I'm going to do all this stuff. So at least at the end of the day, win, lose, or draw, it's going to be something that I like, that I'm proud of, and nobody's micromanaging me. And it's going to be something I'm very proud of. So it's been a long process to try to get to be a cinematographer. First, you start as a photographer, then you go to a videographer, and then you graduate to what I think is a cinematographer, because basically I'm trying to make little movies.
Yes.
So,
and your video absolutely is a little movie. It's amazing.
Well,
I've seen a couple of your videos, and they're fantastic.
Well, thank you so much. I try to keep it interesting. I mean, we're so monkey trained into ESPN edits, but you have to know the difference between giving somebody an epileptic frickin' seizure and giving them time to let the moment marinate. Because if you're just going bang, 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 it's just bullshit. It's like a strobe. You don't want that. You want to try to carry those moments of emotion. And I knew how to do that on the guitar. I knew where those moments were going to be. And Alyssa is amazing. We had, she did a great job in the other one, but this one, it just wasn't she wasn't the right person to edit it. And would I use her again on something that may have vocals? Yeah. But to be quite frank, I don't really, the only reason why I would think I would need somebody else is for their ideas more than having them do something that I don't need, that I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Because that was the biggest lesson I learned, that I know what the fuck I'm doing. Because when you go to Hollywood, that's where they make the videos, right?
Yep.
In the movies. And when I went out there and I was doing it, I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I was really intimidated. And when I found out that I pretty much knew what I was doing, I was like, I can do it myself. Mm-hmm. So you have to have faith in yourself, man. You got to have faith in yourself, because there's always going to be naysayers. Everybody's going to say, you can't do it. You got to do this. You got to have this. And you got to do bullshit. Just go for whatever you're going to do. Nobody thought, who thought that I could do Eruption, 10 years ago? I didn't think it was possible to do it, but I did it. And these videos, it's the same thing. I never thought that I would get to the point where I would have something that would be of cinematic quality. I didn't, but I just kept going, just like with the guitars and the amps. And then I've got a great camera, but you just have to it's like anything in life, man. You have to have passion for it. And this is a fluke. I just started doing these videos because I knew that if I didn't, I'd get left behind. And when I started doing them, Yoshi saw them. Bang. I got signed as an artist. Mark Slaughter saw all of them. He wanted me to play with him. It was just necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
And that's how it all came about. I didn't think to myself, well, I want to be Cecil B. DeMille. I don't want to be I'm not looking to be Steven Spielberg. I just want to get a fucking gig. How do you do that? You better make a video.
Your road to getting a gig is it's done well for you, done really well for you, and I see nothing but better things on the horizon.
Well, man, I feel very blessed to have done anything that I've done, and if it all ended tomorrow in a fireball and a crash, I'm good.
God forbid.
I'm good. Nah, I'm good, man. Nobody's promised more than a day, more than a minute. And if I die tomorrow, I'm good, man. I'm good. I've done some of the coolest stuff. I want to keep doing cool stuff. There's certainly no death wish, but I live each day and I try to I just get up every day and I try to do my very best. And I try to be honest and real. And I try to be a good dude at the end of the day. And I can be a little rough around the edges. Occasionally when I have to be in this business, you do, because people will shove you around and they will push you around and they will slander you and they'll do mean things to you. But I think if you go and spend 5 minutes and look at the posts on my page and all my friends that are on there, and I've been on there for almost 10, 11 years, you can't get that kind of love and that kind of following from people if they think you're an asshole. And that's the number one rule. And this kid that was on there the other day, I saw him at
Josh.
I saw Josh at NAMM. That kid's a great player. And he came up and he asked my advice about the music business. And we were talking. And and I was just being funny. And, it was kind of a joke, but it was true. And he said, well, what's it about, man? What's it all about? And I said, it's all about ass, bro. And he went.
That's right.
He said,
that's right. And now explain it.
He said, can you quantify that? I said, don't be an asshole and always play your ass off. If you do that, you'll get gigs.
That's absolutely the truth.
Don't be an asshole and play your ass off.
And I got to say that about my buddy Ty Price over here. He is exactly that. And he gets great gigs. And he's a great guitar player. And, man.
And that's what it's
the common denominator of all of these stories that Mike's talking about it's the work ethic, right? It's the work ethic, it's the hustle, it's anticipating what's around the corner. It's actually having a plan and a plan to pursue.
It's a 360. You're very right. It's a 360 deal. You got to keep burning every day, dude. Every day I get up and I go to the gym. You think I want to do that? You think I want to do that?
Oh.
Well, let me tell you something. There's only one Meatloaf, and I ain't going to be the next one.
I hear you. Yeah.
So it's a 360 deal. It's not just about, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to shred every day. So when I get up there and play, everybody's going to go, wow, he's really fast. I keep myself holistically together. I try to eat the best I can. I try to work out. This is my toolkit. This is my toolkit, my body. This whole thing, it's not just these, not just my fingers. It's my whole body. It's my arms. It's my legs. It's my heart. It's my mind. Everything goes forward to make that happen. And you've got to try to be disciplined in all these areas so that when you get that opportunity, what is luck? When opportunity and preparedness meet, that's what I try to do. And it's like a guy, it's no different than a guy, and in a different way. I'm a military brat, so I guess I can kind of say this. And I certainly don't compare myself to these fine ladies and gentlemen that serve our nation. But it's like being a guy who's on a SEAL team, and you're training every day to the edge of what you can be. So when you get that call at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're on that plane, you ain't got no doubt that you're going to go do that job. And that's how I try to keep myself. So, Guess what? If something happens and what's his name? What's the guy, D'Angelo? What's his name? The guy that plays in Guns N' Roses, whoever.
Bumblefoot?
Bumblefoot, whoever was that guy. And then it was the other guy that plays in, no, not Slash. The other guy who plays in Nikki Sixx's band, he played with Guns N' Roses for a minute. The guy that wears the headband.
Oh,
DJ Ashba.
Kelby Clark?
DJ Ashba.
We saw him at the bar at NAMM. He was there. Yeah.
Whoever.
Yeah. Got the headband. Yeah.
DJ Asher.
This is a hypothetical.
DJ Ashba.
Whoever is playing in that slot for that big band, whoever it is, whether it's DJ or whoever, he gets a problem. I'm going to be the next. I'll be the Phil X waiting for that. You follow what I'm saying? And the harder I work and the better my credit rating is by not being an asshole and being a pro and not being a fuck up, that circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And then everybody knows who you are. Phil got that call. Somebody's going to get that call. If I may never get that call, but I can tell you what, when I get that call, there's going to be no trepidation in my mind, and I'm ready to just grab that thing right there. It says Fragile on it. And the other side of it says Himmel on it, which Mark Slaughter actually wrote that on there for me. This is Mark Slaughter's, by the way. He gave it to me. Sorry about that. He gave it to me. And he gave me a couple of amps too, by the way, which I probably should have told you about.
We can do this on a part 2. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of time for us to do this again.
Let me just say this about Mark. He's a great guy. He gave me that to carry my stuff in. And he also gave me 2 of the original Quilter amps that were made. You see up there?
Yes.
See the Quilter up above the right there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it in reverse right there.
Yeah.
Above the EVH.
He gave me 2 of those, and those things are 150 watts a piece. He gave me 2 of those. But my point is, guys, when I told Josh that, he laughed. We all laughed at the beginning, but really, at the end of the day, you really have to be prepared at any given time because someone's misfortune could become yours. And you have to be, if you want to be, Daniel said DJ, if you want to be in line to get that pick, dude, you better have your shit together because the list is short and the list is small, and the word around town goes very, very fast, and people know who those guys are, and so I just try to be ready. That's it, man. And it's called. You're absolutely right about that. It's just your work ethic, and you got to get up every day and do it. You got to hit it every day. It's my job, you know.
Yes.
Just because I'm not playing with a national act right now doesn't mean I won't be on a massive tour in 3 months with somebody. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe not, but I'll still be doing my videos and trying to kick maximum ass regardless. I don't care. I'll still be doing my art, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, you just got to be ready.
Thank you for this time.
It's really cool. It's our pleasure. So real quick, I just want to digress. To just let everyone know, I'm sure everyone here knows how much of a nice guy Mike Himmel is. But when I was in rehab last month, he was one of the guys that called just to say hi and see how I was doing. He he's a busy dude. I mean, we all are. We're all busy people. But out of his busy schedule, he called to check on me, and that goes a really long way. It goes a super long way. Johnny as well, Ty as well. All these guys, Johnny and I, we kid around with each other a lot. We bust each other's balls constantly on these videos. It sometimes looks like we don't like each other, but for guys like these guys to see how I'm doing, that goes a million miles. And I just want to, first of all, I want to thank Mike, but I want to thank all 3 of you guys and everyone that has contacted me to see how I was doing. I want to thank all of you, but those of you who didn't, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You sounded like
I'm just kidding.
You sound like in the beginning of the Billy Blaze. I'd like to start off the show by saying, fuck you, Billy Blaze. And that was for Dave Friedman. Dave, you better, this will get to you. I know it will. So he'll get a good giggle out of that. But you're good. Listen, man, you got to understand one thing. And I sincerely appreciate your kind words about that, man. I mean, I think at the end of the day, people may remember that I play guitar kind of a certain way, but I want people to remember, that I'm a good dude, at the end of the day. I mean, really, I'll give you the shirt off my back. If you got a problem, man, I'll be the first guy on the side of the road trying to help you change your flat tire. I think humanity is more important than all this bullshit, fluffy rock and roll star shit. I mean, I just want to be known as a good dude. And the reason why I came on this show is because you're a good guy. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try to do one of these interview things again, because I pretty much had just written. I just don't, again, like I said, I don't really fancy myself as that interesting to have anything to say about 2 hours worth of me talking. Is just, who wants to fucking hear that? But I did it because I love the guitar. And the number one thing was, I did it because you're a good dude. And you told me that Johnny's a great guy. And this handsome gentleman here that's joining you on your show, you guys are quality people, man. At the end of the day, that's what matters to me. That's because if my hand got cut off tomorrow, my friends are who is going to matter to me, and my dogs, man. And if everybody else walks away, the people that cared about me are the ones that are going to make the difference in my life. And you're a good dude, and you kept after me, and you weren't an idiot. And I knew that you had good people behind you because you're a good guy, man. And
thank you very much.
It's been an honor and pleasure, and I appreciate this sincerely from my heart.
I appreciate it, and I try to surround myself with good people because I can be a scumbag. No, I'm just I'm just kidding. But
it's when you get to know them.
Yeah, when you get to know me, it's all over. It's all about my shit here, my gear. No, I'm just kidding. And I do want to say one more thing, and this is all in seriousness. I want to thank my beautiful fiance, Desiree Dornan, because if it wasn't for her, first of all, I don't think I'd be here. I'd probably be dead because of the way I used to treat myself physically. But if it wasn't for her, I don't think I'd be the same person I am now. And I owe my life to her. I want to thank her.
I love you.
Oh,
I love you too.
You know what? She, as well as you, are in our prayers, and we, and your dogs, man. And you're a good guy, and we want to see you on this show many, many, many years to come. And we, the folks that I know that talk to you, Caleb and all the rest of them, they think they really think the world of you. And that's why these people are here. And that's why I'm sure Johnny's here, and your new compadre. And we're all looking forward to the new the new adventures and more stuff that you're going to do. I don't know about any of the other new show stuff. You had mentioned that to me, but you got people pulling for you, man, that really, really care about you as a human being. And that says a lot.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And again, I want to thank everyone in the chat for joining us tonight. Please, if you have any comments, leave them down below. And we will try to answer them as we read them. I'm sorry we didn't get to a lot of your comments tonight, but we had a lot to cover with Mike in a very short time. So again, I apologize for that. I want to thank Ty Price for coming on and doing this with us. This is the preamble of his new endeavor. He'll be doing a nice show, or at least what I think would be a nice show. And again, thank you so much to Johnny Bean, because if it wasn't for Johnny, I wouldn't be doing this. And Johnny really is the guy. He's the man.
Johnny, thank you. And Ty, thank you so much, man. I hope to see you guys again. Maybe we'll come on and pick it up from where we left off. And if not, this was
we have more questions, but we have enough for another show.
Yeah, I got to take the dogs out, and then, believe it or not, I've got to do a midnight session with another guy that wants me to fix some video stuff for him. So I should probably run. But man, God bless you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for having any interest in me at all. And I look forward to seeing you guys online and in the comings and goings.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Mike Himmel, everybody.
Pleasure.
Yes.
Yep. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Where's the claps, Johnny? Come on, get on it. There you go.
Claps.
Well, there you go. and just like that, he's gone. So anyway, all right. So Johnny, you have another show coming up later in a couple hours, huh?
In exactly 2 hours.
All right. Well.
Yeah, Saturday night with John BL, Neander Paul, Michael Smith, probably.
Yeah.
And whoever else.
Maybe Jay.
Maybe Jay.
Maybe me. I'm not sure yet. I'm tired, and I still have to eat my soup. I made this wonderful soup.
Oh, I haven't had dinner.
I haven't. Desiree got a chance to eat it, but I haven't had a chance. It's vegetable soup, and we were thinking about what we could eat because we had really nothing in the house. And I was like, "Do you want some soup?" She's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get it." I said, "In the house we have, and we just made a couple of cans of broth, big cans of broth with carrots, string beans, kidney beans, corn." And dumplings, which I can't wait. I can't wait to get some of that. So
sounds good.
Yeah. So anyway, Ty, thank you so much. I will probably talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, it was a pleasure. A lot of good perspective, insight, great stories from Mike. So thank you for the invite, Johnny. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, man. Come back in 2 hours. We go 3 hours.
And Johnny, again, thank you so much. Thanks for doing this on a day off. And I know you had things to do today.
Oh, I was supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, well, you still can do that after your walk.
No, I don't have one of those.
Oh, damn it.
No, and then after the walk, I gotta have dinner, and then I'll be right back sitting here for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So come back, you guys, for Saturday night. The session is actually already up, but I'll put a card right where that subscribe icon is. So we'll see you guys a little later. And Ty, great to see you, man.
You too, Johnny.
David Nesdahl and Mike Himmel.
Yeah. Awesome. Good show.
There's his links. Mike's website is down below.
Yeah.
Mike,
also,
his Instagram is right there.
Also, put some links up to his videos as well, please.
Mm-hmm.
His videos are outstanding. They really are fantastic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're here. They're right here. Right there. All right, you guys. See you guys in about a little less than 2 hours. So come back. And yeah. Here, I'll put the thing up.
Okay.
It'll look like that. That's the video you guys want to click on next.
Awesome.
So see you guys later.
Ty, stick around.
Yep.
David, don't go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. Johnny, stay here.
Okay. Johnny Bean TV.